we were looking at Nordhavn's 43s, and then just in a conversation with James, he said, well, look, the 51's coming out. It's going to be built in Turkey, and one of the options on the first 3 is still available if you're interested. And we finally made the call, didn't we?
We did.
And we committed to it, and then but then we got offered the first one, which I think's a good thing. And it's about to happen.
Yeah,
the first 51 is only a few months away now from being launched in Istanbul.
Lovely, and we'll be the owners. So exciting.
Can't
believe it's going to happen.
First thing we've ever bought in our lives, we've owned right from the beginning. So we've ended up with hole number 1, and I guess...
Well, what makes it, if I can just say something, what makes it really exciting is that it's a new thing.
Yeah.
We're pretty into doing new things, because things we've done as a couple, like with setting up Aston Norwood and that sort of thing, was something new, and people said to us, oh, why are you doing that? So
having children.
Yeah, having children. There's that sense of adventure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so from my perspective, I've found the whole process quite reassuring, because I feel like Nordhavn, from the minute that we made that connection with Nordhavn, that it was like a family, isn't it? Is that how you feel as well?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. And
very
even like
so.
You've got the Nordhavn group, so you feel like you're not going into this alone. It's not like you're just thinking, oh, I'm going to get a boat and head off into the wide yonder. It's like you've got this whole network around, and people who already know things, and every time you have a question, you know someone else has got the answer.
Yeah, and the Nordhavn Owners Group, I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
every morning that's sitting there with a list of questions and answers, and the group coming out and trying to help each other. So 100%.
Yeah.
But to have the first hull, I mean, if I'm honest, there were initially some concerns, and not concerns really, but questions, because you felt in a way, is that the one that gets experimented on, as it goes together. But talking to James, like he said, everything these days, the processes for building a boat are pretty much established. Everything's designed on a computer. It's the molds and everything come out by CNC cutting and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's it's not their first rodeo.
Yeah.
But if I'm honest, there is still that thought in my mind, if we ever come to sell it, is there a view out there that the very first one off the block is maybe not as attractive as others? But we've got no intention to sell it at this stage, so who cares?
Yeah. And even though we have that thought, those thoughts have been put to rest a lot of the time when we're talking to Drew and to James, and that isn't it?
But then also for me, probably, which is a little bit my personality, is overpowering that is probably the impatience in me. And
are you impatient?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty keen to I'm generally pretty keen to get on with things.
I've never noticed that about you in 34 years. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just sort of think, the first boat's going to be the first boat. It's here sooner, so that was attractive, and it's exciting being part of the launch of the first Nordhavn 51 built in Istanbul.
Very
cool.
exciting. And the other thing too is, even though there's that group and we know that there's that support, one of the things when you were looking for more answers online was that you felt you didn't sort of have a synopsis where you could go to see something from beginning to end and what it was about. So that's been part of our journey, and
very much so. Yeah.
And why we're keen just to be open and to share our story, really, isn't it? And our personalities with people, and to say this is what it's been like, and this is where we're heading.
The 41 and the 51 are really the first production boats that Nordhavn's built, and
as opposed to customised.
So if you bought a Nordhavn boat in the past, the client is involved in every reading the log and doing the research, is involved in every part of it. Like, what layout do you want in this hull? What colour do you want the hull? What gear do you want in it? Whereas the whole point of the production boats is to keep the cost as low as possible. So there's way fewer inputs from the customer as to what they want. In fact, the sense you get, and I totally understand it and get it now, is that don't get too involved in that. Don't try to have any influence, because effectively the answer is almost going to be no, because that's the whole reason we're producing a boat that you can afford.
Yeah.
If you want to change something, change it later.
I like that there were some things we could decide on.
Yeah, like what?
like the configuration in the rooms, you know, for the beds, and the seating.
Yeah, and the third toilet that we didn't even know that, did we?
Yeah.
Actually, we found that out from somebody else. You can either have a day toilet or a cupboard.
Yeah.
Didn't seem like a big decision, really.
No, and then also like taking out the ladder now, you know, so even though it's not as specific and it's not lots of things, there's a few things, but it's not as
but then in a way, you know, take for example the ladder. I mean, if you look at the initial renderings of the 51, it shows a ladder from the aft deck above the lazarette up onto the tender deck.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, you know, that eats up a lot of space, and do we really need that ladder there? Well, when we were talking to Istanbul the other night, they said they've taken the ladder away. Well, we didn't get consulted about that because it's a production boat.
Yeah.
And that's how the boat's going to be. Fantastic decision, I think.
Yeah.
Because it gives you more room. But
absolutely.
I think when you're getting into a production boat, that's what you've got to accept. And, you know, I hate to think what this boat would have cost if it was customised. So, you know, I love it the way it's coming out.
And the neat thing, I think, is that there's a whole raft now of like people like ourselves that it becomes affordable for.
Yeah, definitely.
So you can have your dream because it's like that.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah.